are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time, don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate. And learn to cooperate.
Monday. Y'all already know, man. We're hitting the floor running. We were going to do the best American Bully out there, but it didn't resonate with y'all. Y'all didn't share, you didn't like, you didn't comment. You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Okay, Mike, you're gonna have to jump off and come back in, bro. There's something going on. Jump off and come back in.
Michael.
Real quick, man. Tonight we're gonna be talking feet. We're gonna talk dog feet. That's what we're gonna jump into. Real quick, we got Brayman Bulls. There you go, Brayman Bull Bullies. That's it, man. He just became a new member. Also, I'm gonna be going live on his platform soon. Whenever he's ready, he just invited me. I appreciate that. Kyle is on the money tonight, man. He ain't playing. We got Queen's New Blood going to need to renew my membership. All right, Queen's New Blood. Number love. We got Ricardo Camarena donating $1.99. Number love, man. We got Miss Shade Tree, Dracula Kennel, Rob Finn, EJ, Jerry O, Bully Zink. Raul started a few minutes early. I see. Bendiciones, hermano. And, of course, we got Mr. Bruce Lang.
Big O.
Hey, we're going to have to bring him on tape delay because we don't have him live. What's going on, Money Mike? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, brother.
There you are.
Excellent. Real quick, tonight's topic, well, I'm going to bring in brother Bruce, right? Bruce Lang. He actually did a tape recording of something he wanted us to talk about. So let me bring him on.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Raul? Hey, we talked about this a few days ago about rolling toes. Let's talk about it a little bit more. Maybe someone else want to hear about rolling toes because I never heard of it. I started doing some research on it and glad I don't have to worry about it. I thought my dog had rolling toes, but that wasn't what it was. So let's talk about it a little bit.
Rolling toes. What do y'all know about rolling toes? Have you ever had a dog with it? Have you ever seen it? What do you know?
So I've seen it, not much, but I've seen it on a couple of people dogs that I know, and they talked to me about it, which that was my first experience with it. And I told her, well, immediately I went to like maybe the fingernails are too long and they're trying to protect it kind of thing, long toes, but I don't know too much about it. I don't know the root of it.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Caleb? You look like you was about to say something.
Well, I saw Tim Jones in the comments. What's up, my guy? He's actually from this town that we live in. He's bought numerous dogs from us. Tim, nothing but love, man. Shout out.
He's the only other guy living in that town, you said? I'm messing with you, man. Go ahead.
But yeah, rolling toes. We just had a situation with it. We were actually housing a dog here that had it, and that was our first encounter. Like Nakia said, I don't know too much about it either. I think a lot of people, and I'm mistaken it too, weak pasturing to rolling toes.
Right.
So I'm very in tune tonight. I'm looking forward to getting some knowledge myself tonight.
Okay, excellent. How about you, Money Mike? You ever seen rolling toes or dealt with it?
Hey, I haven't ever dealt with it, and I'm with Uncle Bruce. I haven't heard much about it at all, so I'm intrigued.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna reveal something to you. First bully I ever bought had rolling toes. First bully, right off the bat. It was a dog that was heavily mastiffy, and he came from a half brother, half sister breeding. Okay, so what I found out, because obviously that was my first bully, so I was researching, trying to find out about rolling toes. It is completely genetic, and you're going to get it mostly out of inbreeding. What does it look like? What does rolling toes look like? Well, tell you what, I got a couple of graphics. We're going to bring them up. We're going to talk about it. First graphic I want to bring up has nothing to do with rolling toes, but I want to just show you what the different things, what different things are when you look at them. Here we go. Top left, right? That's called a sprung toe, and that's when the toes are springing outward, okay? You got your normal foot, Look at the green lines and look at the green arrows, right? You got a flat toe. Now, I know these are not American Bully feet per se, but you can pretty much make things out. Flat toe, you see that red arrow where it's at. There's no cushioning whatsoever. Look at the flat foot. The flattening comes all the way from the back, not just the very front. Then you got too much padding, and they're calling that rolling off toe pad. Look at that, man. That's like walking around with one of these shoes these new generation kids have, man. And then you got the splay foot, and obviously the splay foot is just big old, like, you ever gone on the beach and you seen somebody all pigeon-toed? That's pretty much what a splay foot is, man. Hey, look, let's go into a little bit of this. Pasterns. Now, obviously, man, look at this. Look at this. Both of them, they're showing you that they have absolutely no strength whatsoever. At the very top right here, you can see what correct looks like, and then you can see how they all get broken down from that point. Now, let's get to the rolling toe part, right? I showed you all that, so when I show you rolling toes, you can have a deciphering understanding because I just showed you what each different thing is, right? This is what a rolling toe is right here. Now, this is not the worst I've ever seen, but it's still rolling toes. If you look at the two middle toes and the inner toe, if you notice, they are rolling. Actually, they're rolling this way. They're rolling this way. The dog that I got, unfortunately, all four toes were rolling this way. I mean, it was just horrendous. And I'm going to let you guys know right now, and you guys know I talk about Nuvet all the time, and I tell you what great vitamins it has, and, you know, glucosamine and chondroitin. I can tell you right now, you can buy the manufacturing plant for Nuvet. You're not going to correct rolling toes. It's not going to happen. It's a genetic defect. There's nothing you can do to correct that, far from some sort of surgery or something off the wall like that, right? Yeah, so, that's rolling toes. Now, let me ask you guys this, Nikaya. When you first saw rolling toes, did you notice anything going on with the dog's elbows or shoulders?
Not on the dogs that I was seeing.
Okay. How about you, Caleb or Mike?
Like I said, we just had the one situation. I mean, her elbow stuck out a little bit. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or if it was just, but yeah, her elbows did stick out a little bit.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that condition on the feet of dogs. I guess I never heard it called rolling toes, but yeah, it seems to me like dogs with a really wide chest that may have a elbows too far out, or something like that could lead to that. But like you said, I guess it's just genetic in the foot too.
Let me go ahead and answer a question I just saw that of course is relating to everything that we're talking about. And Miss Jessie Jinx Woods. Jessie Jinx. Talk about an artist name, man. I love it. JJ. So Miss JJ Woods is saying, what about swimmers' back feet? Well, let's go ahead and bring up. There you go. So for those of you that don't know or are new to this, sometimes when you have a small litter, okay, I'm talking about really small litter, like maybe 2 or 3 puppies, you may end up with something that's called swimmers or swimmer syndrome, okay? And that's what's happening to this poor puppy right here. What ends up happening is, Miss Nakaya, close your ears for a second. What's happening is you got too many teats and not enough puppies. So puppies don't have to fight for food. It's overly abundant. And when that happens, there's an unbalance, okay? Not just because the puppy is overweight and the joints are not going to be able to hold up. True enough, there's an unbalance there. But also because they're eating so much of one thing and not of the other, depending what you're feeding mom, that could also afflict the puppies, which is another reason why we dropped the video showing what it is that we feed to whelping moms, right? We actually grab the entire chicken quarter and we put it through the grinder, including the bones, and we feed that to her because when she's producing milk, what's in milk? Calcium, vitamin D, right? So these large amounts of calcium and vitamin D, she needs it, especially at the time that she is producing milk and whelping a litter. So this right here can actually, this condition right here, Miss Jessie Jenks, can actually be fixed rather easily. It's not the most complicated thing. In fact, you could already see that they already taped one front leg and it could be taped over here to the other front leg. And if you tape these two back legs, then the legs will not open up the way that you're seeing now. The other way of handling this situation that I've seen, let me see if maybe somebody here has done it, and I'm not necessarily seeing. Okay, here's the taping. This is what I'm talking about when I say you tape them. See how they're taped? So when the puppy gets up, now you got to make sure you don't over tighten it in these areas here because you could cut off circulation to the paws. But the reason you tape it is so that it could stabilize the puppy. The other thing I've seen is basically you grab gutters. You get maybe a 10-foot piece of gutter, and you flip it up so it's like a letter U, and you put the puppy in the middle. And they're forced to walk correctly because the feet will not be able to slide out because the gutter is there physically. And so mechanically it won't allow it. So that's what I can tell you about that. I don't know if you guys ever dealt with swimmers. What can you tell me?
We have dealt with it. And actually we taped the front and back legs just like that. And then we made sure that the surface, we changed the surface. We put more padding so the dog had more grip, so that the legs weren't going apart. But yeah, it works. It can be fixed very, very quickly. But I like that gutter because I've never heard that.
Yeah. I hadn't either.
Yeah, when I first started breeding, so remember I said that first dog I told you about that had rolling toes? Yeah, well, this first litter, I had 2 puppies.
Oh,
and
wow.
Man, let me tell you, they went down. I mean, they got heavy. So the one female I kept from there, those of you that have been following me for a while, her name was Genesis, right? She died 2 years ago from a snake bite. She was 132 pounds, female.
Wow.
And yeah, I started doing the taping, but I noticed that when she would walk, her hind legs, she would cowhawk. And this one breeder, out the blue, he reached out to me. He said, "Hey, you know how to fix that so you don't get the cowhawks?" I said, "No, talk to me." He said, "Man, just get yourself 6, 8 or 10 feet worth of gutter and buy it and then put it down and have the puppy walk through it." And so what we would do is we would put little pieces of meat every foot or so. He would walk, eat it, get up, walk, and then turn around, do it again. And what was crazy is with Jenny, all the way until the day she passed, she didn't have cowhawks. Wow. And a lot of times cowhawks and also hip dysplasia are common with dogs that are swimmers because joints and everything, they get discombobulated, right? When they're puppies. So, man, we got a bunch of people hitting this up. Let's see what's up. Ricardo Camarena, trying to get my puppy right. I started Nuvet, been feeding cooked salmon, bone marrow, walking my 7-month-old boy on dirt pavement, sand, got a show in Albuquerque, New Mexico. What else can I do? All right, this is what I'm talking about. That's what this show is all about right here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna let you go first because I always like taking the mic. You go first, Caleb.
Hey, I love it. You're definitely on the right path. I mean, for you to get your dog show worthy and things like that, like you have hit a lot of check marks already. You're
Yes.
putting them on different surfaces, so they're used to it. Also, you're making them work. It's filing down their nails. You're working the pasterns. You're feeding them the right things. You're giving them supplements. Man, stack training, leash training, things like that, which it sounds like you're already doing. But my hat's off to you, Ricardo. I look forward to meeting you in person because your head's in the right place.
Definitely. How about you, Nakaya? What advice can you give my guy? Didn't mean to put you on the spot. Can you hear me?
Nakai.
Oh, me? I can hear you now.
Okay.
I couldn't hear. It broke up really bad. What happened?
Okay.
So it's my turn.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. So, like Caleb said, I think you're on the right track with that. Nuvet joint specifically, and then with the gravel, like tighten up the feet, keep them working with that, because dogs are really lazy in the front. They're real, I don't know, lazy if you let them be. So that will weaken the pasterns. Am I breaking up?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Okay, so that will weaken their pattern. So, like he said, the Nuvet, you're on the right track. I love everything you're doing. I wouldn't change a thing.
Go up hills. Go up hills, though. Work that back, too.
Yeah. How about you, Money Mike?
Oh,
what
yeah.
you got for him?
Yeah, I agree. To me, the perfect combination is the Nuvet with the NuJoint. It covers the full spectrum of what the dogs need there. As far as the cooked salmon, make sure that salmon cooked. I would definitely worm the dogs regularly if salmon was a part of their diet consistently. It's something that can bring in parasites fairly easily, but it is a great food for the dogs. Sounds like you're playing around with some good textures there that are good for the pasterns and good to teach a dog to walk and hold the proper muscles in their feet and legs there in the right place. Yeah, man. I definitely say you're headed in the right direction. I'd like to know how all that's working for you. Maybe you can get back with us and let us know how that's going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna shit on everybody's parade. I don't agree. I don't agree. I'm gonna tell you why right
Let's
now.
hear it.
I'm gonna tell you why right now. First of all, giving your dog salmon is great. Giving your dog salmon oil does not necessitate for you to have to give salmon on a daily basis. Just telling you that. Because if you're giving your dog salmon on a daily basis, then on a daily basis, not daily, but weekly, 10 days, you better be deworming. There's a particular type of warming salmon that if you don't cook it right, it could actually kill your dog. Secondly, Nakaya hit on it, but she didn't expand on it. Okay? You're walking your dog on sand. Sand packs. And when it packs, it's worthless. Does nothing for your dog. She spoke about gravel, pea gravel. If you could somehow make a little area where your dog could walk in, where you got at least 4.5 inches of pea gravel. So when he steps, the paw will sink, forcing the pastern to have to strengthen. Okay. That's how you strengthen pasterns. You get pea gravel, not the really, really tiniest one. No, you need to get them a little bit bigger so that when the dog steps, it sinks. That's the really, really, really good one. Now, I'm going to tell you what else. You're walking your dog. Okay, you're saying here you cook salmon bone marrow. Chicken bone marrow is as effective. Walking my 7-month-old on dirt pavement. So I already told you about the gravel. The other thing I'm going to tell you is walking your dog briskly, at least for half a mile a day. Half a mile a day. Now, if you got a little tiny pocket, okay, keep in mind I'm talking for an XL. Half a mile for an XL is not the end of the world unless it's over 90 degrees outside, right? So we got to use that little bit of common sense. I'm not telling you to kill your dog. If your dog is a pocket, then maybe a block up and back is going to be more than enough. Just make sure it's cool enough. I don't want anybody killing a dog. Now, we have another question, and that's where Miss Jessie Jinx, comes up.
I'd like to add something real quick to that too, Ro.
Yeah.
So we use Now you have to watch when you use elevated bowls and make sure your dogs don't get bloat. Make sure they're,
Good.
you know, that they're, you know, when they eat and drink that, you know, that you leave some space between the two there. We do 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much they're eating on that sitting. But I push my dogs to the limit where they can barely like keep both feet on the ground and get to the food in the bowl. They try to go up on one foot and kind of rock to one side because they can barely reach it. And
Yeah.
then I correct them like put both feet on the ground, and it forces them to really flex that pastern. And I've that's really been my secret weapon on that. Our dogs have had good pasterns pretty much from the gate, but I have watched it single-handedly strengthen and change the dynamic of that foot. My dogs get older, not only are their pasterns stronger, but they stand on their tiptoes better because those muscles in the feet are stronger.
Correct.
And I attribute that to credit that to elevating those dog bowls, the ones that you can adjust as the dog grows. I would highly recommend that.
That was phenomenal. I will also say, because Miss JJ is saying, is there a way to fix back feet that turn out? All right, there is a way. What? Yeah, there is a way. However, your window of correcting is this small right here. So I'm going to tell y'all what it is right now. Remember a little while ago, I was talking about the gutter? The gutter. The gutter's going to correct it. So if you have yourself a litter, say right now I have a litter of 7 pups, right? I should be going out and getting myself 7 gutters, maybe 10 feet long, and doing the little piece of meat everywhere and getting them to walk up and back. Or what you can do is stand back, let them walk around, and then when you see that one puppy that's walking at you and you're seeing the 2 back legs kicking out, put them on the gutter, okay? Putting them on a gutter early is your best shot at correcting this. If the puppy's past 14 weeks, sayonara. You got yourself cowhawks, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, some people say, well, cowhawks doesn't really affect the dog, but it does. It does in the show ring. It also gives a sign of possible weakness in the rear. So, you know, it's all relative. If you just want a pet, cowhawks mean nothing. If you're a kennel that's trying to put Grand Champ dogs out or whatnot, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah,
So
it could definitely be a weak rear. It can very easily be just not good balance in the rear mechanics also, right? Where the dogs got, you know, too much muscle tone in one part of the rear and not enough in another, or just an imbalance there in the mechanics of that, you know, that help with the dog's motion.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Let's be real. In the American Bully community, right? Whether we like it or not, 90% of the pictures are showing the dog's front. Okay.
Absolutely.
The dog's front is what it better be on point. Let me put it that way, because 90% of the pictures are the front. So if your dog ain't got a good front, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. You might have a high rear. You might not have the best rear angulation, but if you got a spot on front, you're good. Let me give you a word on that. Everything in a dog, right, works based on biomechanics. I have come across some dogs. I've even had some dogs that are front wheel drive. Those are the dogs that are real bulky, real strong.
Yeah.
And instead of pushing off the rear legs like the breed standard says they should, they don't. All of their power and their control is in their front legs. What do you think happens to the rear? Then you got these. You notice the dog's walking all muscular, and then the rear's catching up. It's like a little right. The guy knows what I'm talking about, you know. And so all it is, guys, is that it's a dog that has been bred with so much up front.
Yeah.
That now the rear became neglected. This is why balance is so important. Okay.
Absolutely.
One of the things I love about Caleb's yard, okay, is the fact that you know, there are no dogs that are perfect, neither in his yard, in mine, or in anybody else's. Okay. But the beauty of this platform is that we bring people on here that realize there's no perfect bully, but together we can make them better. We can make them as perfect as possible. One thing I like about his yard is his dogs are more balanced than everything up front or everything out back. If you have everything in the back, you're going to have a chapel front dog. And if you have everything in the front, you're going to have a dog with chicken legs in the back.
Yeah.
So you're trying to balance that out, and it's not easy. I know it sounds funny, and we're going to laugh and whatnot. But if you're a yard that you're dealing with a dog that it's a front wheel drive dog and there's nothing in the back, man, you're talking about at least 2 generations before you really start seeing some 4-wheel drive results. If you get where I'm getting at.
That's so conservative too. Getting those rear mechanics in could take longer than that. Well, I tell you.
The rear has more moving parts than the front.
I'd say looking for 4-wheel drive is probably in my top. It's definitely in my top 5, maybe in my top 3 things that I look for.
Sometimes getting that balance in people's eyes comes at a cost. Some people want that front, you know, that just wows you no matter what. And they're not willing to compromise balance in order, you know. So like in my case, for example, I don't need that crazy front. I want 4-wheel drive. Why? I'm going to tell you guys why so you can understand. Caleb and Nakaya, y'all been breeding for quite a bit. Tell me if you agree or disagree, okay? But this is the reason why I'll take a 4-wheel drive all the time. Because to go from that 4-wheel drive, say you have a 4-wheel drive female, and you bring her to one of those tractor front, up front muscular, all it takes is that one breeding, that one generation. You're going to get at least 1 or 2 that are going to have that massive front with a 4-wheel drive.
Absolutely.
But if you flip it the other way around and you got a big muscled up female up front and you're trying to balance it out, yeah, good luck with that. It's going to take you a minute.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah, the female's going to dictate it. And like you said, it's like going to the gym and working your upper body and not working your lower body. You know, that's exactly like it is. You know, you're going to have a huge up front, but your bottom is going to be small. So you're not going to be a bbalanced person, just like with dogs. So you've got to, and if you don't work it, you're going to lose it. You've got to make sure you work the rear.
Here's the thing, Caleb. With dogs, I would especially look, whether we like it or not, and they, you know, some people call it the bully game. You guys know I hate that phrase, but whether you like it or not, the bully game is a genetic game. The breeding, what we do is we're playing genetics, whether you understand it or you don't. We're all dealt, it's like playing poker. You're all dealt certain cards and you're playing the odds at getting what it is that you want so you can win the hand. That's really what breeding is all about, whether you like it or not. It comes down to genetics. Yeah. And so I understand what you mean about people just working up top and not the bottom. But some dogs will be born with a skinny rear. Yeah. There ain't nothing you're going to look. You can have them go uphill, walk them go up. You can go briskly up and down all you want. You're just not going to get it if the genetics are not there. Ricardo says, is feeding cooked salmon every other day too much? I'm trying to get his joints and fronts right. Okay, Ricardo Camarena. I'm going to tell you what the secret is to getting joints right. All right. I'm going to tell you my secrets. Guys, if there's something I miss, if there's something else you do, I want you to add in. So I'm going to tell you guys what the secret is. The secret to joints is anti-inflammatories. Put that in your head. Secret to joints is anti-inflammatories. What's the number one anti-inflammatory for dogs?
Turmeric.
No, that's number 2. Number 1, omega-3 fatty acids. And you get that, you get that, say, from salmon oil or sardines, right? But salmon oil is probably the most common and the most effective. So get yourself a big thing like this of salmon oil, right? and squirt your 2 or 3 squirts, which is the limit every time you feed. And that's going to be more than enough than for you slaving over buying salmon and doing all that. I mean, if you want to do that, go for it. I'm just saying. Number 2, this knucklehead down here just said it, turmeric.
Yeah.
It's another anti-inflammatory. Well, listen, I'm going to concoct a recipe right now that I've never put out there. I'm only going to throw it to my people on my lives tonight. So you grab yourself some salmon oil. You grab yourself some turmeric. You grab yourself some coconut oil. Nakai, are you writing this down?
Of course.
You can replay the video.
She'll do both.
All right. We started out with salmon oil. That's number 1 anti-inflammatory. Number 2 is turmeric. We're going to follow that up with coconut oil. And the coconut oil, yeah, it's an anti-inflammatory, but it's real mild. I'm not doing it for that. That's just bringing everything together, because we're going to add some ginger, which is a very powerful anti-inflammatory, along with the turmeric, which is in the same family as ginger, by the way. And then lastly, but necessarily not least, some garlic. Okay. Now, we feed 1 clove of garlic per 100 pounds of dog per day. We crush it or slice it up, let it sit for 15 minutes. Okay. Let the reactions that need to happen before you feed it to your dog. All right. So you want Alan to, react with the air, turn into Allison, which then could be fed to the dog. You're putting all this together. How much? Guys, is really simple. If you buy a thing like this of salmon oil, it's going to tell you how much you can give, right? That's how much. Move that to the side. Coconut oil, we're only going to give 1 tablespoon per 100 pounds of dog. Do the math on that, okay? What's the other ingredient? Turmeric, we're doing a teaspoon, which is 1/3 of a tablespoon per 50 pounds. So that's 2 teaspoons for 100 pounds, which is 2/3 of a tablespoon, almost a whole tablespoon, but not there, right? Coconut oil. I already said the 1 tablespoon per 100 pounds. Ginger, not much, just a little thin slice of ginger. Chop it up as finely as you can into little cubes. And the same goes with the garlic. We said 1 clove per 100 pounds.
What about the little bitty pinch of black pepper?
Of black pepper, because you got turmeric in there. Black pepper will actually make the body consume more turmeric, like 10 times more than if you didn't have it. So you want to throw a little tiny, just very tiny pinch. We don't want to give the dog a stomach ache, okay? We're not taking the dog out to go eat Mexican or anything like that, right? Get some jalapenos and some peppers in here. We're not doing that, right? So you're going to do your concoction, mix it up, and you're going to grab one. It should come out to 1 to 2 tablespoons, and you put it in their food. Now, if you're feeding kibble, right, that's where your inflammation is coming from, not this guy. That's right. This guy's feeding salmon, so he's good to go. If you're feeding cooked or you're feeding raw, your possibilities of inflammation come down. But if you're feeding kibble and you're wondering why your dog has this crazy little limp when he's walking on the track, now you know it's inflammatory. Okay, dogs weren't meant to eat beetroot, cane juice, chicken byproduct meal, which is beaks and feathers. Hey, they're supposed to eat everything but the beaks and the feathers, right? So that's an anti-inflammatory. That's a super powerful anti-inflammatory recipe. And if you really want to smash it in, you come up with Nuvet NuJoint DS. All right, this is going to have some serious vitamin C in it, plus the minerals your dog needs. This is going to have glucosamine and chondroitin. You combine all that together, and you're going to send me a before and after picture in about 2 weeks, and we're going to sit down and have another little powwow. Let me put it that way. If your dog still has a limp after this, yeah, man, you're going to have to pay a lot of money, because it must be some sort of orthopedic issue your dog has. I have seen my dog Cadabra come up limping after a session of spring pole. and Flirtpole. And I literally gave her this, and within 72 hours, there was nothing there. She was ready to go.
Wow.
All right. And it's because it brings all sorts of inflammations down. Now, I must say this. Everything I just said that's anti-inflammatory, if your dog has a condition where they don't clot, or they're receiving a medication that's an anti-clotting medication for whatever reason that they got something going on, do not give them what I'm talking about, okay? Because this stuff will definitely reduce inflammation, but will also create a situation where if the dog starts to bleed, it may not stop. Also, do not give it to pregnant females. If they give birth, you're going to have them bleeding all over the place, even more than they should. So just want to throw that out there. Man, that was a good little barrage there for a minute.
I enjoyed
That
that.
was good.
What
info.
about we talked a little bit about it here recently, the condition, and you and I talked about it also, where the puppy's elbows go out and the feet can turn in.
Yes.
When they have a little too much protein. Can we elaborate a little bit more on that tonight since we're on the feet?
Yes. Okay. So guys have a misunderstanding of carnivores, right? So let me explain this to you. A carnivore is a carnivore is a carnivore. I get that. But there's also certain limits of calories and the balance of protein to carbohydrate and fats that they can take on a daily basis. You have to comprehend the wolf 300 years ago had to go hunting and try and catch a rabbit. And he would only catch one rabbit out of 8 different attempts. Okay, so by the time the wolf caught the rabbit, he had just burned off about twice as much calories, right? So this keeps the wolf lean. How do we know this, Raul? How do you know this? Well, if you follow, okay, how animals, it doesn't matter what animal, how they evolve genetically, you're going to realize wolves don't have a big old heavy head, blocky head like a bully does, do they? They can't. They have a smaller and more of a streamlined head. You know why? Because out in the wild, that wolf needs to be able to move fast, quick, and be efficient. If you look at wolves, okay, there's no such thing as a wolf with thick bone. This is man-made for American bullies. Why is it? Well, because now we have food security. We could guarantee that our dogs are going to be eating, 900, 1,200 calories daily. No big deal. Whether it's through kibble, through raw, through whatever. Okay. So, well, okay, I got you. So anyways, what ends up happening, guys, is, man, I lost track for a second. Michael Higginson, what was your point again?
I was asking about where the elbows are out and the toes are in.
Yes.
Yeah, it's you're saying it's from having not a good balance between the fat and the protein and things like that.
Well, high protein, that's where I was trying to get at. What's happening is we have food security, but because we got food security, we get lazy and we grab a bag of kibble and we look at it. It says 40% protein. This has got to be it. Because when I used to work out back in high school, everything was protein. Yeah, everything was protein. You don't even know it, bro. You got one of your kidneys half burned out. You'll find out by the time you get to 50 that you burned it out with all the protein drinks and everything you were doing. Everything's got a limit, right? Yeah. Everything has a limit. So what ends up happening is for puppies, for example, I can tell you this, I got a litter now. I'm doing diet plans and everything set up for them. You don't want your puppies eating more than 15% protein. What? What are you talking about? All right, just hear me out. If you go to a vet's going to tell you that puppies should be eating anywhere between 20 to 30% protein. And this is true in general terms. But if we're talking about American bullies and large breed dogs who have joint issues and whose bones grow rapidly when you feed them protein, then this is where a breeder that has been doing this for a minute can actually trump a vet who has just generalized information. Okay. I'm not saying I'm more than a vet, but I could tell a vet a thing or two if they don't know about my breed, because each particular breed has its own intricacies and tendencies, right? The last thing that you want to do is start feeding 30% protein to these pups. And next thing you know, their soft tissue, which is ligaments, joints, cartilage, start to become weak. They weaken. Why do they weaken? They weaken because their body is set up to prioritize growth in other areas when there's an abundance of protein. That's what's happening.
So it makes it in turn makes the bone outgrow the joints.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then when the bone grows, right? Let me see if I have something here where I can show you. All right. So let's use this, right? So this is going to give you a certain amount of torque on either end because it's only yay long, right? But say this was that same puppy in 4 weeks. You can imagine the amount of torque that you got now on both ends. Now, the problem you have is his soft tissue is pretty much the same when he was here than when he's here. Now that he's got more torque on either end, that's where the problem lies. Now, how do I know this? Let me just get to this. How do I know this? Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's like anything else. You know, there's an old Cuban saying that says, he that wants to kiss seeks the mouth, right? So I'm a bully breeder. I care about having my dogs with straight feet. There's nothing worse in my eyes than a dog walking around looking like Charlie Chaplin. Each breeder's different. Some breeders could care less about that, but they want the dog to have an amazing rear. Others, you know, whatever. But I went ahead and did research a while back. I don't know if you guys recall. This right here is a genetic panel, okay? And down here, you're going to see the genetic pathways. We found out that protein will actually trigger growth, and that inflammation will stop growth. This is why it's another reason why you want to feed your puppies that concoction we was talking about down to their level, so they keep everything not inflamed. Okay, because the minute they inflame, that's how genes get turned off. So let me give you an example.
That's how the growth hormone gets switched off.
Correct. Let me give you an example. My boy Blueberry, right? Look at this little knucklehead. You know why he's got a big old head? He's got a bigger head than he's got body. Look at it. Look at the head size for his body, right? Okay, this boy is on anti-inflammatory concoction on a daily basis. Why? Because I don't ever want his head to get so heavy that his pasterns get inflamed and they start sending signals to the DNA to stop growing. And then the DNA shuts off the gene. So I'm trying to maximize his potential. How am I doing it? Anti-inflammatories. That's what I'm doing. Completely natural. Completely natural. Okay. So if you have a dog, you have a puppy, and you're feeding that cheap kibble at 30% protein, and his elbows are starting to come out, which will just think about it. Think about it. This is straight, right? What happens if your elbows come out? Naturally, your hands come in. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens to the puppy's paws. You have a situation like this, or even worse, if they go Easty Westy. When they go Easty Westy, what it means is the dog's head, shoulders, and chest was right now, those joints are not able to support it. So the body redistributes the weight, shifting everything from a wider stance to a closer stance up top. How do you correct it? Reduce your protein to 15%. Put the dog on an anti-inflammatory concoction like I spoke about, and you're going to just see in a matter of a short time the difference. Don't take my word for it. Look at my boy Fireball. My boy Fireball, when I got him, he was straight as straight could be. by the time he was 20 weeks old, I had caused Easty Westy. Look, it's right there in front of you. Luckily for me, I started researching, and I didn't know that I was actually adding the same thing inside of Nuvet NuJoint Plus, except I didn't have the dosages just right. However, you could see by the time he hits 1 year old how he corrected, and you could see him now presently how, well, we call him around here Mr. Perfect. I mean, and that's really, I mean, his feet. I mean, look, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if he just woke up. This dude goes to sleep stacked. Let me put it that way. So I just want to throw that out there. A lot of you have puppies that you paid a lot of money for that come from phenomenal parents, but you ruin them and you don't even know why. Well, I'm giving you the why. Okay, I'm giving you the why. Let me see here. It's a dry riverbed, Arroy.
I was gonna say that also to a little thing. So everybody knows to put the puppies on MUSH at a certain age, right? To start getting them towards whatever you're feeding them from just milk. And when you start putting them on MUSH, if you're using kibble, that milk and kibble combination is a lot of protein. And so I think that's something that is easy to miss. You don't realize, like, oh, the kibble's in the protein. You're not thinking about all the protein that's in that milk. And the combination of the two is going to be way higher than any high protein kibble that he's recommending you don't give to the puppies.
And then you add some of that dine on there. So now you fatten them up even more. So now he's got
more pressure on the joints.
Yeah, you got joint issues, and you keep adding weight on them because you want a 3-month-old that's 130 pounds. Right? it's you know what I'm saying? It just makes absolutely no sense. Jerry O. Bully Zing says, my pocket does that thing, Mike, but the rear he can't keep straight for some reason when he's eating on the high bowl. Okay, so if he's not keeping his rear straight, I'm talking about the top line, then obviously there's something there. It doesn't, go ahead.
I was going to say it can be footing. It could be the surface that the dog is eating on could cause them not be able to dig in the right places to get that right amount of balance. But honestly, man, as long as they're getting their front feet, if they're having to extend as tall as they can with their fronts to get in that bowl. I've had my dogs, they got their back legs sideways and everything else just to try to make it happen. But either way, you're strengthening those front feet. The back legs, they're going to get, if they've got good rears and good balance, if they're 4-wheel drive, like Raul said, then they're going to get that every kind of which way with everything they do.
I get stacks when my dogs are eating like that. Just natural. They do it natural.
I do too.
So if your dog is stacking naturally and you're noticing a curvature, it's called a roach back. So, and that leads me to this question too. Wesley Martin is saying, how difficult is it to breed out roach back and high rears? All right, Wesley, this is a situation where you're asking the tip of the iceberg questions, right? There's so many things going on in the back and the rear. But I'm going to give it to you quick. Roachback are not the most difficult. We know it originates from the pit/staffy. That's where the roach is coming from. It doesn't come from the Mastiff, and it doesn't come from the Bulldog necessarily. It comes mostly from the pit and staffy. So depending how close your dog is to that look or to that terrier line, that's your answer. Yeah. You got a dog that looks nothing like that, and it was like a one-shot type of deal from that one litter, you shouldn't have any issues clearing that. But if your dog's walking around here looking like a Pitbull, then you're going to have a hard time. It is what it is.
And then the high rear, there's so many things that go into high rear.
High rear.
So many things that have to do with the feet. You really got to take the time And sometimes, especially if it's your dog, they want to give you so much attention. It's hard to watch them without them watching you, getting all up in your business, right? So it's good to take pictures and stuff and videos of the dog so you can go back and look at it and figure out what actually is going on. But it could be a lot of issues with the front or back feet and things going on to affect a high rear. You know, you think you got high rear, really got weak pasterns, or you got some kind of dwarfism in the front that's making the back look tall. But also some of that can be fixed. So then, you know, you don't want to overcompensate in thinking that you need to do a breeding a certain way to fix this, and really it's just weak pasterns, right? But I'd say true high rear, it's pretty sticky, man.
Yep.
You got to find a dog that's got maybe more than perfect top line to kind of bring that down. I've got a female, she came from Caleb, matter of fact. When she is stacked up, and not overstacked in the rear either, but just stacked, she's sloping slightly downhill to the back. So she's got that very hard to come by top line that is great to have in a program, just like that. And so with that right there, that is a good way to combat.
Not like that. Not like that.
No, not like that. What she has is like this very much, and it's really good for combating that high rear, man. But yeah, just make sure if you're making breeding decisions with what you're looking at and calling high rear, make sure it's actually high rear, not something with the feet.
Yeah, let me go back to this picture. Let me tell y'all something right here. If you're in a scenario where you got this right here, first of all, you're not going to have this unless the dog has some mastiff influence. And you could just looking at the rear, I could see a weak rear from a mile away. And that already tells me that this dog has mastiff influence. But the other thing I'm going to tell you is nobody has a perfect dog. So you may have a dog that's already got this, and you got to work with it. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to fix that right there, if you have no choice but to fix that right there, you need to go to a female with a short back. Short back. Do not look for a limousine looking dog like this. This is not going to work for you. You're going to need a shorter back. You're going to have to come with a shorter back in order to be able to clear that.
Raul taught me this a long time ago. So the longer the back, it's just like when you're off on a measurement. When you're a 16th or a 32nd of an inch off in 1 inch, it's not very much. But in 100 feet, it's a mile, right?
That's it.
So that's the thing. When it comes to the long back of the dog, more space between the front and back shoulders, the more room there is to show that air.
Yeah, more room for air. Exactly.
Yeah,
the short back
100%.
fixes so many problems.
Yes.
We got Hollywood in the back. Hollywood, I got Mr. Jeffrey West. Can I hear it from my man, Jeffrey West, bro?
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
Cabrón, we do this every Monday at ATC. Ricardo Camarena getting a little out of hand. He says, trying to get that spin. Ricardo, if you want to get the spin, you got to do exactly what Jeffrey just did. Yeah. Only if you're a member can I give you the spin, man.
He's easy on y'all now. Back when we wanted to spin, we were degenerates, degenerate gamblers.
Gambling degenerates.
Yeah, hey, I love the wheel, man. I cut my teeth at QBN spinning that wheel. That was I love it. So
hey, man, let's you know what, Mike, you're already coming up with a wheel so many times. I'm gonna have to bring the wheel up, man. Just bring it up. I was gonna bring it up anyway, so don't feel bad, man. But, yeah, having a little fun here tonight. All right, so look, let's start it out with a gambling degenerates. Money Mike. There you go, Money Mike. Here's you, bro. We're going for a spin. There you go, Money Mike. This one's for you.
I love it.
There you go, Money Mike. There you go, Money Mike.
Already.
Oh, dang it. Dang it. Man. All right, Caleb. This one's for you, Caleb. This one's for you, man. Here we go. Let's see how the spin and then okay.
Oh, he gets another spin.
All right. Here we go.
Let's go, baby.
All right, here we go. There you go, Caleb. All right. Don't hit the $100. All right. No, I'm just kidding.
Beanie.
Oh, dang it. All right.
I was gonna need the
All right.
beanie too.
Nakia, this one's for you. This was for Nakia. Watch her hit the $100. She gonna hit the $100. Oh, she gonna.
Oh no! I didn't even get to spin again, Caleb.
Caleb's luck rubbed off on you. Hey, Ricardo Camarena, I can't spin for you because you're not a member. But if I did spin, this is what it would look like. All right, let's see what would happen if we spun it for Ricardo Camarena. Watch it land on the $100.
Watch it win.
Yeah, I'll take his.
Oh, there it is. There. Come on, spin. Oh, okay. Okay, he got to spin again. He's safe. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, Ricardo. Oh, Beanie. No. Okay, Nuvet. Ah.
Dang.
All right, man. All right, man. We tried. Just to give you a glimpse of what you got missing, bro. What you got missing. Jeffrey West says, I love it here at QBN. Is definitely top notch. Respect everyone in the live tonight. Nothing but love, man. That's how we're doing it. Ricardo says he has good pedigree. Faux King, Big Red, Macho Man for the win. Just to name a few, I just want to bring out the best in him. I appreciate the input. All right, man.
Love it.
Nothing but love, man. Nothing but love. I hope it all works out for you. I got some of that blood you was talking about. Shade Tree's talking about turmeric. How do you think XL champion Loki blood would match up with Rocco blood? All right. So are you talking about champion Loki from 205 BK? Because that's where I got my boy Fireball. I can talk to you about that because let me show you my two dogs. I got my girl Aruba from there, right? And that's Fireball's sister.
I got a lot of Loki blood over here.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to answer the question as if though you're talking about the dogs that I got in my line. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you an idea of a little something, right? So I got this girl that just has me mesmerized, right? Her name is Champion Sunshine, right? Little Champion Sunshine. Now, Little Champion Sunshine ain't perfect now, but dang, she close to it. But she ain't perfect.
Nice.
Okay? She got a little slight east-west coming in.
What's that new picture of her I like where she's straight from the front and got that big, pretty smile jumping?
I didn't upload it here, man. I didn't upload it.
Man, I love that picture of her, man.
But I will tell you this about Lil O's. Oh, hold on, man. Hold on. You talking about this one over here?
Yeah, I
this
love
one right
that
here.
picture.
Okay.
It looks good.
So this girl right here, the reason she's got a Koya 20, so it's not over the top, but it's not too low either. She's got Rocco blood in the background. She's off of Thor. I was considering possibly, because I love him to death, but not only that, because I think he matches up. The one thing Fireball does for dogs is he puts them damn paws he's got and he straightens out their damn feet. That's what he does. And here's the other thing about this dude right here.
He throws tails.
Yeah, this dude right here is off a champion XL Loki, who's his dad, and off of a pocket Lil Big, who's his mom. So the reason I would consider breeding him Lil O's Sunshine is because she is a pocket. Yeah. So in the world where you have a pocket and an XL bred into a dog and you're getting something as correct as Fireball, the way I see it, Fireball's bilingual. Fireball could be bred to an XL and speak XL. He can be bred to a pocket and he can speak pocket.
I like that.
That's what I'm seeing out of him. Now, he's 8.5 years old and he's still cranking over 1 billion in sperm, which is ridiculous to me. Oh, you're talking about this picture. I'm sorry. I got to cover you, Caleb, and Miss
the one standing up. That's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. Okay.
I love that picture of her, man. That's my favorite.
Could you just take a second and look at her for just a moment? Keep looking at her, and now look at that. So basically, his feet on her and her musculature and bone and everything else on him.
Yeah.
That is a possibility that could work. So to answer the question, it can work. I can picture it in my mind that it can work. Let me see here, man. I'm gonna go through some crazy speed comments here. Coconut. Funny you brought up four-wheel drive. I feel like over the last few weeks that two of my dogs have been shifting from four-wheel to rear wheel. Okay, Prater, when you see that happening, what do we do when that happens, Caleb, Nakaya, Mike? What do we do when that happens? When you're seeing the dog go from four-wheel balance to rear-wheel drive. He's not putting it on the front. How do you counter that?
Make him work the front. Flirt pole, things like that, sands, just see what you can do to compensate for that.
Okay, Nakaya, what you got?
I am not really sure about that one.
Okay, Mike, what you got?
There. I would say increase the protein in that case.
I wouldn't do that. What I would do is if you got yourself a little goat ramp like I got, or you got a hill, remember how you go up rapidly and come down slowly so you can work the rear? Well, guess what's happening when he's coming down slowly? You ever been working out and you can't push it up, but you do negatives? That's what's happening when a dog's coming downhill.
That goat ramp. You still got that goat ramp video where you built the goat ramp?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the goat ramp is good. You're right. That downhill slope.
So what I would do, depending on the dog's age too, if you got a dog that's 2 years old and bone plates have sealed, get yourself a little weight, maybe nothing out of this world, no more than 5 to 10 pounds up front on a 100-pound dog. That's fine, and go downhill briskly. This is how you bring the biomechanic back to the front. Now, you don't want to overdo it. If you overdo it, then you might go from 2 rear-wheel drive to 2 front-wheel drive. Now you got to work it the other way. Jeffrey says, don't feel bad. I take notes every live and still go back and watch. None below, man. Mike, beat me to it. Oh, dang it. Ginger and love garlic. Yes, honey is also something very good. It's got some anti-inflammatory properties. So that's something else you could add in there.
We use honey a lot for things that the dogs don't really care for the taste of. Like if there's something a dog needs in their diet that you kind of have to sneak in, you can put some honey on it. Bless you, and the honey will just about it'll make them eat whatever the honey's on. They love the honey, so even if it's wormer, if it's whatever, Brussels sprouts, whatever you're trying to give your dog, if they're leaving it in the bowl, you can put honey on it. They'll eat it.
Learn something. Camarena, man, Ricardo Camarena, you've been asking quite a big questions, man. You got to become a member so we could do this one-on-one, brother. Just throwing it out there real quick. He's saying you have said that calcium and vitamin D will work against you for joints due to bones growing too fast. I give him Greek yogurt before bed at night. What's your input on that? I don't want to mess him up. Here's my input. The reason that Nuvet, and I talk about Nuvet NuJoint DS, is because they're giving you the right amounts. The last thing that you want to do is not give your dog calcium for fearing that by the way, this is the code. You can do the QR code, put it up to here, and you can order Nuvet right here. Now, thank you, Kyle. Kyle, by the way, let's give Kyle an applause, man. He's been on point tonight. Give yourself an applause, Kyle. Let me hear it. Let me hear the applause. Brother Kyle. All right. So the last thing there you go. The last thing you want to do is not give calcium. I'm going to tell you why. Calcium and phosphorus, they're antagonistic against each other. Okay. So when you start reducing calcium, what's going to happen is phosphorus is going to accumulate, which is one reason why I don't like giving just meat with no bones in it. You got some people just giving dogs, oh, look at this old beef steak. Yeah, that's great for a day or two. You don't want to be giving that for a longer period of time, because what's going to happen with that is you're going to create an imbalance between calcium and phosphorus. There's no calcium there. It's nothing but phosphorus in the meat, right? Or a larger amount of it. And that's what creates an imbalance. So when you go to something like Nuvet, what happens is it gives you just the right amount, and it keeps everything balanced. All right. Now, you're saying here that you're giving a Greek yogurt before bed. That's great. You're giving casein protein overnight, so he doesn't go from the catabolic state, right? He doesn't enter the catabolic state. So, guys, when dogs don't eat from anywhere between 8 to 10 hours, they will go into a catabolic state, which is part of the reason why they throw up too, because they have an accumulation of acids in their stomach, right? The catabolic state is the state where muscle gets broken down to amino acids so the body could use it for whatever, even try to make glucose, which is not very efficient at. So the way you counter that is you give them something like Greek yogurt. I've sent them the past cottage cheese because it's got more concentration of casein. And because it is a complex protein, it takes the body so much longer to digest it that it doesn't give the body the chance to go into the catabolic state. So I think that what you're doing there is right. What I do think that you can do, Ricardo, in order, if you feel the dog is growing too fast, okay, what you can do is reduce the protein to 15%. What happens when you do that? What happens is the triggering factors letting the genes know, hey, there's plenty of food, grow at your will. Those messages are not being sent because now there's scarcity in the protein. Don't worry that the dog is not going to meet its full potential. It will. It will, because you're not going to feed this dog 15% protein by the time he's 2 years old. You're just trying to make sure that these pasterns, right, and these joints and everything are well structured, at least by the time the dog is anywhere between a year to 16 months before you start pouring it on. Part of the problem is people want to pour it on from the get because they don't know better.
Yeah.
And that's what ends up screwing the dog up.
I've heard recently where people are giving dogs banana for to combat that acid, to help as like a snack to go, I guess, a little bit in food to combat the overproduction of acid in the stomach. What do you think about that, Raul?
That's like giving a steak to a parakeet. Look, a dog will eat a mouse or a rabbit or whatever and eat the stomach contents. And they got some grains in there, this and that. They don't have a full-blown banana in there. Why would you give a full-blown banana for a dog?
Not a whole banana for sure.
But it's all water and this and that. I know it's all water, but you're coming back to potassium. Potassium is an electrolyte. So sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, they all have to do with the heart, okay? And I know that bananas are high in sugar. We know that dogs have a larger pancreas than, say, a wolf, but it's not comparable to humans.
So you wouldn't want to do that regularly, for sure.
No. Grab yourself cottage cheese. Get yourself cottage cheese. Get yourself one spoonful. Drop it in there, and you're good for 10 hours. And
my dogs love cottage cheese. That's the favorite thing they want in their food. Remy's gotten to where if I've been giving her cottage cheese for, say, a week straight, like she won't eat one bite of her food until she's absolutely sure that there's nothing she can do to get me to add it.
But listen, think about it for a minute. A banana versus one scoop of cottage cheese. The scoop of cottage cheese is going to prevent the catabolic state. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to prevent the acid buildup. I'm not 100% sure of that. Okay. But it's going to prevent the dog from going into catabolic state. You give a banana, you're going to give a sugar spike. sugar drop. You're probably going to enter into catabolic state, but the dog didn't puke. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And this is
Dog's
exactly
down in
why.
catabolic state that you caused because you gave him a banana, but he didn't puke. So that's, you see,
This
that's
is exactly why you got to be careful what you hear and check it out. You know, I just heard this 2 or 3 different places in the last week or so, just online looking at different stuff on dogs, and so I hadn't had time to really check into it yet. I wanted to ask you about it.
Well, if you have a dog that has DCM, dilated cardiomyopathy, anything going on with the heart, do not, please, or kidneys, do not be giving your dog an excess of potassium in a banana. You have no idea what you're doing at that state. All right. Real quick, Kyle, get the button ready, man. We got Jose Hernandez. There you go.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
Translate Hernandez to English. Joe Higginson. There you go. Joe Higginson. Jose Hernandez.
Yeah.
We do this every Monday now because we drop Fridays because y'all need to go to the happy hour. I know y'all had to do a little disco dancing. You know, I get it. So we're going to catch up on Mondays, man. And Saratha said, thank you, Shay. And Saratha says, I would like to cut about 5 pounds off my girl. I will be showing in 6 weeks, but adding or keeping muscle. She is about 70 pounds, but looks potato. Looks like a potato. Come on, Saratha. And Saratha, the way that you prepare a dog for a show, based on what you're telling me, what I would do is, all right, you heard me this whole live talking about reduced protein. Well, this is one of the few times you're going to hear me say, jack up the protein and reduce the carb. That's what I'm going to tell you. Let the dog live off of protein and fat. In fact, if you could do that chicken soup that I've been doing for my female, which I say you can give to puppies, you can give to dogs any age, that stuff alone will get your dog where you want her to be. All right. Let's see. We got Jair, most hated native. Most hated native says Professor Raul. Come on, man. You throwing shade at me? Nah, I know you're playing. Jair Grimm says you have to drop that blueberry blues on time. Oh, dang. All right, so look, we're going to drop it. But there is an unwritten rule in this platform that when Blueberry Blues comes on and I put you on video, you got to dance. All right. And that's just the way it goes. And look, Kyle he's been working in the back on a few new steps. So I might have to bring him on, but here we go.
Like blue eyes in a sea of blue. I can't stop thinking about you. The way you walk, the way you stand.
There you go, Caleb. Give me some.
Come on, baby.
Blueberry motherfucker, you. That's right. Blueberry motherfucker, you.
Hey, look, I can't hear the music, baby, but I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Blueberry motherfucker,
Yeah.
you.
Uh-oh. Here we go, Hollywood.
Saving my nickels and dimes, taking my time so I can get my bone instructions.
Thanks for Blueberry Blues, seriously.
Blueberry motherfucker, you.
Yeah. Come on, Caleb. Give it to me.
I know you gonna produce.
Go, Nakia.
I got to save up. I gotta invest in you. Blueberry motherfucker, you. You are the best. Cleaner than the rest.
There you go, Kyle.
Blue,
Go.
sweet blue. You sexy motherfucker.
All right, here we go. We're getting to the end. We're getting to the end.
Drink you like blueberry
Drink it like
juice.
blueberry juice.
Blueberry
I'm out of mood.
I've seen many blue
Hey, I'm
dogs,
done good with no music.
but
I can't
none
even hear it.
like
You know what I'm saying?
Blueberry motherfucker, you.
Uh-oh, here comes the last part, Kyle. It's all you.
You blueberry
motherfucker, you. You got me waiting and waiting, gave me the blueberry motherfucker blues.
He was on.
Hey, you know it's crazy when I put Blueberry Blues and the views go up and the shares go up. I mean, it's just phenomenal, phenomenal.
These guys, Caleb, they'll do it, man. You hear me?
I love it.
Dupree Anders is asking a question, and he's saying, "So, question, right? That's why I knew it was a question." He says, "Does that mean you should breed to a class below your dog's class to something like a pocket where they have shorter backs?" Ding, 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 ding. It sounds like a bell and a whistle went off. Yes. I feel I could be wrong, but the beauty of this is I have XL breeders over here to my left, right? And below me. What I believe in, and this is just belief, it's completely subjective. There's no right or wrong answer. My belief is us XL bully breeders, we've been breeding to other XL dogs that keep having Mastiff in the background. It keeps coming up. Our solution to our problem, which was partially right in the Brazilian Bull, that instead of going to Mastiff, they went to the largest of the bully breed, which was the American Bulldog.
Yeah.
My suggestion to the solution of the problem is go fix your stuff with a standard, possibly bring up pockets to a standard, and bring that up to XL. That's my solution to the problem. Guys, you got the floor. Let me know what you think.
100%. A lot of times when we're looking at studs, we look at standards before we look at XLs. It's a whole lot easier to bring it up. Bring that breed type back up to the XLs. The height is easy.
Yeah. Height is a one generation thing I have found. And so the emphasis to me is, a lot of people, they put the height up front. I remember about 10 years ago. How long you been breeding, Caleb?
About 9. We got our first bully about 9 years ago. So breeding about 7.5, 8 years.
All right. So we're contemporaries as far as the time that we've been breeding. I remember back then the emphasis was height. I remember it was XL and XXL and XXXXL. And I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? And what I really found out was it's too easy to bring height in. So rather than bring it in up front, why don't you work on creating a masterpiece on a large standard and then just blip it up with a female?
100%.
I think it'd be better to have your height come. I mean, if you're going to bring in that shorter breed type, definitely want to have the male be the shorter of the two.
100%. XL female to a standard
a pocket female to an XL male, I feel like that's a little more risky than the other way around.
Look,
I agree.
But each dog and it just depends on a lot of things. But
look, Dupree is saying, he's giving us insight. He says my stud ace is a standard, so I should downsize a class below to breed out the flaw if that's what someone is looking for, right? Dupree, stop. Dupree, if you had an XL, my advice to you would be come down to standard. If you already have a standard, why don't you breed to a correct standard?
100%.
You don't have to keep going down. You don't have to. If you lack breed type, then I would tell you, yes, go down. But if you're already there and you got breed type, but you're trying to tweak something, tweak it on that class. Tweak it with another standard, then come back up. That's just, the way I see it. Okay. So Wesley is saying, yes, sir. Same Loki blood you got. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be putting out too much information, bro. You might. No, man, it's all good. It's all good. Adam Field says it's definitely worth it. $5. Ricardo, $5 gives you one-on-one talk here. Also, when you need to text me every now and then, not every single day, every hour on the hour. We all take that $5 to heart. You're like, I'm getting my money's worth. Kel says, hey, strangers, looking like we got some beastly danger of stack up in here. What is going on, young ladies? It's been a minute. Coach Coach K. Yeah, Coach K. All right. Nice to see you, Coach. Haven't seen you here in a minute. Yeah, look at that. What's up, Coach? People remember, Coach. Look, you see? Coach Karen. Love, man. We got Jeffrey West. Adam Fields, with all due respect, is worth more than $5. This information is worth every penny, especially for the actual dog lovers out here, but respect for the abortive. Jeffrey West, number love, man. Speak up and say louder for the people in the back, bro. Number love for you, man. That's it. Look at that. You even got a salute from Adam Fields, which I've never seen Adam Fields salute. So he's saluting, man. He's giving you some serious love, man. Ricardo Camarena, the superstar for the night, says, I'll get the account so we can get it. Man, you guys are great. Number love, man. I'm trying to get to some questions here before we head out. Reggie Boone, I've heard that goat milk is good for dogs. What are some of its benefits? Well, it's got higher protein than typical, what is that, S-Black milk that they put together. The only thing I will say is, Reggie Boone, if you're going to feed goat milk, make sure it's the powdered form. And I know I speak about doing things naturally all the time, but just hear me out. I got a consult about a month ago from a guy that just had a litter, and he started feeding his own goat. He was milking his goat and giving it to the pups, which was great. But the goat got some sort of worm or something, and it became a mess. Now, he was able to clear it. He didn't lose a pup. He was able to clear it, but it cost him a good $600 to go run into the vet and have the vet, hook them up with that old protocol they hook everybody up with. You know what I'm talking about? The protocol. Yeah. All right. Coach K says, careful with some of those products. Make sure it's full of fat. Even better if you're getting goat milk, yogurt, or cottage cheese. A lot of manufacturers are adding carrageenan, nasty stuff. Carrageenan. It's a stuff that they're putting in dog food, in particular the wet dog food. And this stuff not only causes cancer for dogs, it also causes cancer for humans. In fact, I actually did some research and found some people that were handling their dog's food ended up getting cancer, unfortunately. Wow. So carrageenan, really, really a big deal. Thanks for bringing that up, Coach K. Number love. Fredy Strivia says, this live has been so great, informative, and fun. You guys work well together. Thanks, everyone. Y'all are awesome. Well, we're going to do this every Monday, right? Bruce said he was going to make it, but I heard from Caleb that he was his booty clap. He's going to make it on tonight, right? So
Caleb.
Bruce, if you're watching this, I'm only going off of what Caleb said, man.
I'm sorry, look, I had to tell him the real reason.
Hey, and he was a mean booty clap, man. But man, that was just a little too much info. Miss Amanda, she actually contacted me, and unfortunately, she had to make it into work. Otherwise, she would have been here, which would have been great. Look, there's Uncle Bruce. Yelp or Too Classic? Are we talking about the booty clap, or are we talking about dogs?
The classic booty clap.
Horrible timing.
I heard the Yelp is the new style coming in, man. I just missed. All right, Wesley Martin says, what about classics, y'all? Do you feel classics are being overlooked? Absolutely, I think they are.
100% they are.
But I will also say this, as a classics owner, yeah, that's a classic right there, my boy Fireball. So my boy Fireball years ago, right? I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago, he was the for classic. Now, I don't even know if he belongs in the classic class because the extremes have walked into the standard class.
Standards walk into classics.
Standards have pushed the classics out. And so a dog like this has a hard time getting in at this point because it's not muscled up.
Yeah.
It is what it is. There's a natural evolution in every breed. And as a breeder, you better know what's happening so you know how to pivot. And that's why old Raul over here got a big old fat meathead now.
Yeah.
Right? right? Looking like that. And you know, we bringing in stuff like this. It's because you see those things happen and you see the writings on the wall. You better do something about it.
Yep.
So that's it. Listen, this has been an excellent live. It's been fun. It's been informational. You know, we even know about Bruce doing the booty clap.
I'll send you the video later.
Let me bring my dude from the back so he can start us up. Hollywood. Hey, Hollywood, have you been practicing on them blueberry blues moves, man? Because you pepping the step tonight, bro.
You were
I was helping Bruce. I was helping Bruce before he came on.
Oh, so I thought you retired from the booty clap, Hollywood.
Yeah, I had to, but he asked me for my help. I couldn't turn him down.
You passed the torch? Is that what you did? All right, Hollywood, start us up, brother.
Your boy Hollywood Holland, your boy in the back of the queue, catching you on the next one.
What else?
Hey, Caleb Weddle from Bully Puppies Productions. We're always working, always improving. Hey, check us on first Monday of every month.
Miss Nakaya Weddle.
Nakaya Weddle, also from Bully Puppies Productions. Always working, always improving.
Money Mizai.
Man, Money Mike, QBN Kennel out of Arkansas, your co-host with the most. We'll be catching y'all on the next one.
Man, I got to do something different. They just did it so good, so I'm just going to change it up. Aquí rapidito con todos ustedes. Gracias por estar con nosotros todos los lunes a las 8 de la noche. Raúl from the Q. Y los veo en la próxima. All right, Kyle.
We are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time. Don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate.